Hello everyone, welcome to the C&O Towpath. I got on this path just west of Georgetown in the District of Columbia, and now I find myself at lock number 5. This was a freight canal, and the towpath remains as a bike and multi-purpose route all the way to Cumberland, Maryland. So this is what I'm going to be taking for the next 180 miles to Cumberland, and then the Gap, which is another bike trail all the way to Pittsburgh. So I'm looking forward to over 300 miles of no traffic. You can see behind me that the canal still has water in it, and the towpath runs along the side of the canal. And it's been raining all day today, so there's a lot of muddy spots, and it's a slow going. I'm surprised when I look down at my speedometer and I'm just going in the single digits, because that hasn't been the case for the last several days. But this is really a beautiful trail. I'm glad to be out of the traffic. I'm away from the city now, and I'm gonna start doing some camping in the woods. So I'll keep you posted as I make my way down the C&O Towpath. Hello everyone. I've stopped at another lock along the C&O Towpath. If you're not familiar with locks, they have gates at each end that open and close and allow the water to be raised and lowered in the lock, so the height of the canal is higher over here than it is over there, because the lock controls the level of the water. Also, at these locks, there had to be somebody there 24/7 to open and close the locks as the freight came up and down the canal. And so at some of these locks, the houses that people lived in, they're called the canal house, are still in existence. And in this one actually is for rent, so that if you made reservations, you can actually stay here overnight if you want to. It's been raining all morning, as you can probably tell, and man, this trail is just muddy and wet and slow. There are lots of places I just have to get off my bike and walk around some mud puddles. So hopefully, as the weather clears out, which it is doing right now, the trail might dry out a little bit, but it doesn't seem like I'm going to make much fast progress on this trail in this condition that it is today.
Looked into the sky, walked another mile, watching snowfall take its time to the ground. Bury this town, yeah, one step at a time, walking on a line, laid in the dirt of the pigs of saints in the ground. Know 'em all too well, yeah, we are ready made up, there to lay our head to rest, and we drove every nail in that old coffin for the trench. Yeah, looked into the sky, walked another mile, cutting losses till my arms get tired.
Hi everyone. I've stopped at another lock number 16 along the C&O Towpath. I just find the construction of these locks to be awesome. Look at the stonework. This canal was started construction in 1828. Just think about building this, and then downstream here you can see that they had to carve the canal out of the rock There's just granite rocks that have been chiseled or blasted away. And then there you have one of the lock houses in the woods there. As a civil engineer, I am just enjoying this trail so much. Each one of these locks that I come across is just fascinating to me. The towpath follows right alongside the Potomac River, and there's some great views of the Potomac every once in a while. Look at this section of the Potomac River. And I think it's just going to get better as I go upstream a little bit. Hi. So every so often along the C&O Trail, they provide these hiker-biker campsites. And so tonight I've decided to stay at the Turtle Run hiker-biker campsite. It's just a little grassy area, but they provide you a picnic table and a pump and an outhouse and one place to put your tent. You can tell that the trails today was muddy. Look at the condition of my bike. I've got to spend some time tonight just cleaning it up. Hello everyone, it's day 2 on the C&O Trail, and my bike just isn't made for these conditions. The trail is very muddy and very soft, and as you can see, the mud gathers on my tires and in my bike, and I wind up pushing the bike more than I'm riding the bike, which means that at this rate, to go 180 miles on this trail is going to take, I don't know, 10 days probably, and I'm just not equipped for that. So I'm going to turn back to Georgetown and reevaluate this trip, because this has really been a demoralizing day today on this C&O Trail. Oh well, it's a beautiful day though, and the trail is still beautiful. It's nice to be here in the woods, but I'm about a day's ride back to Georgetown, and I think that's what I'm going to do today. That's too bad. Hello everyone. So today was a pretty tough day. Yesterday I rode through the District of Columbia, past all the main monuments, the Capitol and the Washington's Monument and the Lincoln's Monument and all of that. And then about noon or so I got on the Chesapeake and Ohio, or C&O Towpath, which is the trail that I intended to take all the way to Cumberland, Maryland. I rode about 36 miles yesterday on that trail, found a hiker-biker campsite and stayed overnight. Then this morning I got on my way, got about to milepost, I think it was like 44, so that's like 8 miles. It took me an hour and a half to go 8 miles. The trail just got worse and worse, muddier and muddier, to where I was walking my bike more than I was actually riding my bike. It was miserable. So at whatever milepost it was, I think it was 44, I decided to turn back to Georgetown and give up on doing the C&O Trail, which, looking back on it, was the right decision, because now I found out that, you know, the trail's actually closed in a lot of places, and there's been washouts and landslides and all kinds of stuff. So then I turned around and, you know, just been sloshing through the mud for one day and all morning, and now I had to turn around and slosh through the same mud back and carry my bike over the same downed trees and portage around the same washouts, and it was just miserable. A bike trip like this takes physical endurance, but it also takes mental endurance, and throughout the day I was just convincing myself to give up and end this trip. And when I got to Georgetown this afternoon, I was going to find a FedEx office and ship all my stuff home, and then I was going to figure out a way for me and my bike to get back to my truck, which is in Michigan. And I was working it all out in my mind. But then I did get to Georgetown, and it turned out to be a sunny day, and it was a nice ride, even though it was backtracking. And the biggest issue I had when I got to Georgetown was, how do I wash my bike? Because my bike was caked in mud, my panniers were caked in mud, all my stuff is at some level of wet, nothing's really dry. And so I went to a couple bike shops, and one bike shop wanted to charge me $55 to wash my bike, which I wasn't going to do. Finally found a gardener who was watering some flowers with a garden hose, and he let me spray down my bike. And now I'm checked into a hotel, and I've been using the bathtub to wash down all my panniers and get all the mud off of them. And now and they have guest laundry here, so I'm doing some laundry. So anyways, my mental status is a little higher than it was earlier today when I was on the C&O, but I'm taking a day here to figure out what I'm going to do next, because I really wanted to ride the C&O, but I also want to ride the Gap, which is the next section from Cumberland to Pittsburgh. And so I'm going to get on the internet and look at my options of how to get to Cumberland, whether it be riding on roads instead of a trail, or taking Amtrak, or renting a car, or whatever. But anyway, I just thought I would pass this all on to you, because I'm so happy that I'm in a hotel now and have had a shower, and I've got a comfy bed behind me that I'm going to sleep on tonight. So I will talk to you all later. Bye.